Hello, viewers. I'm Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal. Stand before you with the topic Normative Approach. Its meaning and criticisms. It is found in +3 first year, +3 first year and second semester political science on the basis of National Education Policy 2020. But before I discuss normative approach, its meaning and criticisms on the basis of National Education Policy 2020 in +3 second semester, I want to inform my viewers that my channel name is @Dilip Kumar Pal 9375, and in this channel I want to inform my viewers that political science videos of +2 first year and +2 second year, both in English and Odia, and so far as +3 section is concerned, +3 second semesters, core paper number 3 and core paper number 4, some videos are found in English and Odia. And from +3 third semester to 6th semester, political science honors and ethics and values, and environmental studies videos of +3 first semester is found. And I want to inform my viewers that any video on any topic you want, just write my name Dilip Kumar Pal and the name of the topic in Google or YouTube. You will get bilingual videos in English and Odia. And any video you will find in English, be sure its Odia version is also the channel. And any video you will find in Odia, be sure its English version is also the channel. Let us start. Normative approach, its meaning and criticisms. Let us start. What is normative approach? Normative approach is an important approach, and Plato and Aristotle are its father. It is used in political science, economics and sociology. Normative approach is a very important approach. Plato and Aristotle are regarded as the father of normative approach, and this normative approach is used in political science, sociology and economics. But what this approach is? Meaning of normative approach. Normative approach is based on following principles. Normative approach is an approach which is based on some principles. And we'll discuss here 5 principles. So, what is a normative approach? Normative approach is an approach which is based on some principles. And here we will discuss 5 important foundations of normative approach. Number 1, normative approach focus what ought to be, rather what is. The first principle of normative approach is that it focuses what ought to be, rather what is. It focuses what ought to be, what would be, not what is now. In a normative approach, what ought to be refers to desirable ideals, values and principles that would guide action and decisions. The first principle of normative approach is that it focuses what ought to be, rather what is. So, in a normative approach, what ought to be means a desirable ideals, values and principles that would guide action and decisions. The first principle of normative approach is that normative approach is based on what ought to be, not what is. It means in normative approach, what ought to be refers desirable ideals and values and principles that would guide action and decisions. It believes in what ought to be. It means it refers to ideas, values, and principles. It believes that there are some ideas, principles, and values which will guide political decisions and political actions. It focuses on what is considered morally right, just, and best rather than simply describing what is currently happening. It describes what is just, what is good, what is just, what is good, and what is best rather than what is currently happening. So the first principle of normative approach is that it believes in what ought to be rather what is. It means it believes on some principles, on some just things, or some ideas which will guide all political actions and political decisions. It focuses some values, ideas, and principles which will be in the society rather than what is happening. It is about evaluating and prescribing how the world should be based on ethical consideration. It wants that it believes on some principles, ideas, and ideals on which the world will be best. It suggests on some ideas, values, and principles on which world will be best. For example, the government should provide basic health care to all citizens. For example, government should provide basic health care to all citizens. It is normative because it reflects a value judgment. Universal health care is a good thing. Rather than being factual statement about how health care is currently provided. So, normative approach is an approach which focuses on some values, principles, ideas on which the world will be best. It believes on some principles, ideas, and it believes on some principles, ideas, and ideals on which the world will be best. It believes how the world will be a better one. It is not discussing what is happening in the world. For example, government should provide basic health care to all citizens. For example, government should provide basic health care to all citizens. It is normative. Government should provide basic health care to all citizens. It is good, but it is normative. Because it reflects the value judgment. Universal health care is a good thing. For example, government should provide basic health care to all citizens. It is a value judgment. It is a good judgment, so it is normative. And if this statement will be placed in a, if this statement will be placed in empirical way, rather than being factual statement about how healthcare is currently provided. So, normative approach believes in ideas, ideals, principles, and it suggests on what principle, ideas, and ideology world will be best. So, it discusses how the world will be a better one. It will not discuss how world is going on. For example, government should provide basic health care to all citizens. For example, government should provide a basic health care to all citizens. It is a good step. It is a value judgment. So it is normative. A normative approach will not consider factual statement about how health care is currently provided. It will not discuss how health care is currently provided. Rather, it will discuss that health care should be given to all. Second point, normative approach is value based. It is based on value. It means It means it involves evaluating and prescribing values and ideals rather than simply describing what it is. Another principle of normative approach is that it is value based. It speaks about values, ideals, rather what is happening in the world. It speaks about values, ideals, and it will not speak what is happening in the world. It means it involves evaluating and prescribing values and ideals rather than simply describing what it is. It will not discuss what is the ideal. It will not discuss what is the value. But it prescribes and evaluates values for the society. It is rooted in values such as justice, equality, freedom, and common good. It is based on values. It prescribes on what values the world will be guided. It will not say the meaning of value. It prescribes value on which the world will be based. It is based on values like justice, equality, freedom, and common good. It guides actions and creates a desired state of affairs. It guides actions and creates a desired state of affairs. It guides actions and prescribes some values on which state of affairs will be based. Number 3, normative approach is prescriptive. It is prescriptive. It means it provides guidelines or rules about how things should be, rather simply describing what is and what is happening. Another important principle of normative approach is that it is prescriptive. It is prescriptive means it provides guidelines and rules about how things should be. It provides guidelines and rules about how things will be, rather than simply describing what is and what is happening. So normative approach is prescriptive, means it provides rules and ideals by which society will be formed. It provides guidelines and rules about how things should be. It provides guidelines and rules about how the society will be, rather describing what is happening and what is now. Then the fourth one is normative approach is idealistic. It is idealistic. It means it gives priority to ideas, values, and beliefs about what should be, rather what is or what is practically feasible. It is idealistic, means it is based on, it is idealistic means it gives priority to ideas, values, and beliefs about what should be. It believes in ideas, ideologies, beliefs, and principles about what should be, rather than what is or what is practicable, feasible. It suggests that social and political systems should strive towards a certain moral or ethical standard, even if that standard is not fully achievable in reality. So it is idealistic, means it is based on some ideas, principles, ideals on which society will be based. It will not discuss what is or what is happening. It says about some values, ideas, and ideologies on which society will be based. It suggests social and political system should strive towards certain moral or ethical standard, even if that standard is not fully achievable in reality. It prescribes some moral standards on which society will be based. Society, it suggests that social and political system should strive towards a certain moral or ethical standard, even if that standard is not fully achievable in reality. It suggests political system and social system. It suggests that social and political system should strive towards a certain moral or ethical standard. It suggests that social system and political system should strive to move towards certain moral or ethical standard, even if that standard is not fully achievable in reality. It suggests that social system and political system should strive towards some moral standard, even if that is not possible or feasible in reality. It suggests some moral standards towards which society should move. Then I will discuss. Fifth one, normative approach is subjective. So normative approach is subjective means it is subjective because it describes how things ought to be, what is desirable or undesirable, what is right or wrong. This cannot be empirically proven. It is subjective because it is normative approach is subjective because it prescribes what ought to be, what is good, what is bad, what is desirable, what is undesirable. But all these things are not empirically proven or they cannot be proved in the laboratory. So we are clear about the meaning of normative approach. Now discuss criticisms of normative approach. There are some criticisms of normative approach. Number one, it cannot be verified. As it is based on values, ideals and principles, it cannot be verified. The first criticism of normative approach is that normative approach cannot be verified. As it is based on values, ideals and principles which cannot be verified. So for this reason normative approach is criticized. Number two, universally not agreeable. Normative approach is not agreeable universally. How? As it is based on personal feelings and opinion, it is not agreed universally. As normative approach is based on personal feelings and personal opinions, so universally it cannot be agreed. What is the personal view of some person? It cannot be accepted by others. So, as normative approach is based on personal feelings and opinion, it is not agreed universally. Number three, difficult in implementation. Normative approach is criticized because it is difficult in implementation. How? Normative approach focuses on ideals, but translating these ideals into practice, practical policy and practices can be a challenging, may not always be feasible. So another criticism of normative approach is that difficult in implementation. It means normative approach focuses on ideals, but translating these ideals into practical policies and practices can be a challenging one. Normative approach difficult in implementing. Another criticism of normative approach is that there is difficulty in implementing. As normative approach prescribes some values and ideals, but the values and ideals is a challenging one. It is very difficult to implement those ideals. So, these ideals, it is very difficult to implement these ideals. So, these ideals may not always be feasible. So, last criticism of normative approach is that normative approach is criticized because difficult in implementation. Normative approach focuses on ideals, but translating these ideals into practical policy and practice can be a challenging one, may not always be feasible. Another criticism of normative approach is that difficulty in implementation. As normative approach prescribes some values, but to translate these values into practice is a challenging one and is not always feasible. So we are clear about the meaning of normative approach and its criticisms. So I request my viewers not to forget to subscribe the channel. By subscribing channel, you will get new videos. And the most important thing is aware of your friends, maybe your plus 2 level or plus 6 level, about this channel, so some students will be benefited. Remember, by giving help to anybody, we can make our life over there. Thank you. Have a good day.